Understanding Brazilian politics, laws, and economics. I chose Brazil because it is one of the most influential countries in South America, which is slightly smaller than the US and one of the world's biggest democracies. It is one of the rising economic powers that make part of BRIC. It was colonized by Pedro Cabral from Portugal in 1500s. Its official language is Portuguese. Literacy and education corresponds to 90% of the adult population, and the life expectancy is 73 years. The key economic centers are located in São Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, Belo Horizonte, and Salvador. We will look at their politics, economics, and trade law. Politics. Brazil is a federal republic with 26 states and a federal district. Their government is divided in three branches: executive, legislative, and judicial. The president is popularly elected. He holds office for 4 years with the right to re-election for an additional four-year term. Regarding its political parties, accounts for up to 22. From 1889 to 1930, the government was a constitutional republic. Vargas remained as a dictator until 1945. Between 1945 and 1961, Brazil had 6 presidents. Brazil completed its transition to a popularly elected government in 1989. Since the adoption of the new constitution in 1988, Brazil has enjoyed a remarkable period of democratic consolidation. Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, who was elected in 2012, took a prudent fiscal path. He fought poverty. Then, the first woman president, Dilma Rousseff, prioritized equity policies to eradicate poverty and fiscal austerity. Some of her policies are focused on defending human rights and gender equality, as well as transparency in government. Regarding the economic policies, she wants to keep up with inflation control, fiscal management, and a floating exchange rate. Rousseff made clear she represents continuity with the Lula government. She is known to favor a strong state role in strategic areas, including banking, the oil industry, and energy. About other policies, the Constitution guarantees a free press. However, US-based Freedom House warned in 2010 that level of press freedom had declined, mentioning censorship and political pressure. Economy. The current phase of Brazilian's economic transformation gained momentum in 1994 with the launch of the Real Plan by the Brazilian President Cardoso, then finance minister in the administration of President Franco. Cardoso's strategy was to rein in the damaging effects of hyperinflation and develop a more stable and business-friendly environment in order to improve international competitiveness and attract greater local and foreign investment. The centerpiece of the plan was the launch of the Real, which replaced the Cruzeiro. Brazil went through a rapid urban growth. 81% of the population was living in urban areas such as Rio de Janeiro, São Paulo, and Belo Horizonte. By 2005, we shed economic development but threatened social security, environment, and politics. Their economy's solid performance during the 2028 financial crisis and its early recovery, including 2010 growth of 7.5%, have contributed to the country's transition from a regional to a global power. During the administration of former President Lula, millions of Brazilians were raised out of poverty and become middle class by economic growth, exports, and social programs. There is still a wide gap between rich and poor, but the World Bank has praised the country for progress in reducing social and economic inequality. Low unemployment and a strong domestic demand pushed 12-month inflation to 7.3%. Brazil is open to and encourages foreign investment. It is the largest recipient of foreign direct investment, FDI, in Latin America. The government plans to invest in offshore oil, nuclear power, and other infrastructure sectors. The Rio Olympics will be held in 2016 and the World Cup in 2014. Therefore, investments in roads, airports, sports center facilities, among others, must be done. So if you are interested in investing, you should know that Brazil offers immediate attractions to new market entrants, such as a population of some 166 million people, the sophisticated centers of Rio de Janeiro and Sao Paulo, a growing middle class, consumer base, a very large industrial base, and huge natural resources. On the other hand, it continues to face economic uncertainties, as it is struggling to improve its competitiveness, build a broadly based modern infrastructure, and reform its public sector. Their main exports are manufactured goods, iron ore, coffee, oranges, sugar cane, tropical fruits, and other agricultural produce. The major markets exports are China with a 15%, United States 10%, and Argentina 9%. Trade laws. Export promotion is a main component of plans to generate growth and reduce financial market fluctuations. The government is seeking access to foreign markets, including tax breaks for exporters. The current administration wants to expand trade ties with developing countries, as well as strengthening of the Mercosur. Mercosur is pursuing free trade negotiations with Mexico and Canada. China has significantly increased its purchases of Brazilian soy, iron ore, and steel in recent years, becoming Brazil's principal export market and an important source of investment. Globally, Brazil stands at 120 in the ranking of 183 economies on the ease of starting a business. Starting a business there requires 13 procedures, takes 119 days. Brazil's diverse industries include automobiles and parts, machinery and equipment, textiles, shoes, cement, computers, aircraft, and consumer durables. Brazil continues to be a major world supplier of commodities and natural resources. The financial sector is secure and provides local firms with a wide range of financial products, yet interest rates remain among the highest in the world. The largest financial firms are Brazilian, and the two largest banks are government-owned, but US and other foreign firms have an important share of the market. Government-initiated privatization after 1996 triggered a flood of investors in the telecom, energy, and transportation sectors. Privatization in the transportation sector has been particularly active over the last 20 years. Brazil has already opened substantially to international investors, and while there is still much work to be done, the government has made some progress in reforming the Brazilian market and removing barriers to trade. Conclusions. I would like to finish up with an outlook from the culture in Brazil. Doing business in Brazil can be a real challenge to new entrants. This is a market that generally rewards those seeking to develop a long-term business relationship, which can take extra money and perseverance than may be the case in other markets. Doing business in Brazil may take twice as long and cost twice as much, but the returns are twice as great. Brazil is a big country, and Brazilian business people have big country ideas. They have an approach to business that is strongly entrepreneurial. They are very welcoming and friendly. Developing relationships will make the difference between finding an open or closed door. These relationships take time to build and may even require a number of visits to Brazil before the deal can be completed. They hardly ever say no straight away. Another important feature of Brazilian business culture is the approach to time. Flexible time is a local practice, but varies regionally. Meetings rarely start on time, and visitors can be frustrated by delays. On the positive side, Brazilian business people understand when visitors are late and seldom expect meetings to start punctually. It is also helpful to remember that Brazilian business people come from a range of backgrounds, social strata, and have a range of educational qualifications. In large and medium companies, senior executives often come from wealthy families. Many are educated at prestigious foreign universities. Brazilian families place great emphasis on high-quality education. Many Brazilian business contacts speak English, with fluency more prevalent among both the more senior and younger business people. Business sentiment underlines positive expectations of growth and profitability, and money is being poured into new ventures and expansions. Many leading international companies have moved strongly in the past years to make strategic acquisitions, with many seeing Brazil as one of the places to do business now. Thanks for listening.